Hong Kong, one of the biggest, most prosperous financial cities in the world, faces an underlying and extensive problem, which has been here for decades. This severe problem is the wealth gaps in Hong Kong. In 2011, the Gini coefficient and an index from 0 to 1 that measures the wealth gap rose to 0.537, up from 0.525, back from 2001, and since then it has been a figure that exceeds various estimates of inequality. One of the root causes of the wealth gap is of property prices, and so therefore today we have a property management specialist who is going to help us answer the questions that relate the rental issue and its effects on the wealth gap.
It's huge wealth gap in Hong Kong. Some tycoon and high-income people may afford $1 billion mansion, but maybe 10% of Hong Kong population struggle in a subdivided unit, which is 100 square feet.
What do you think is the root cause for the existing wealth gap in Hong Kong?
I think it's Hong Kong economy is centralized in 2 or 3 sectors, such as real estate and finance. And for the low-income group, they can work harder and harder, but their incomes always not affordable for the living costs in Hong Kong.
Others may say how there's an effect from the increase of population. What is the wealth gap like in Hong Kong?
I think if you look at the figures, they will tell you that the wealth gap is a pretty serious issue in Hong Kong. The last time I checked, we had something called a Gini coefficient, which is a measure of the gap between the top of the income earning and the bottom of the income earning scale, and the measure for Hong Kong is about 0.5. Now, to put that in context, if you were to look at Sweden, it's 0.26. So that suggests that there's an enormous gap between rich and poor. The official poverty rate in Hong Kong is around 17%, and I think what that means in reality is that about 17% of the population literally earn just enough to live on, somewhere in the region of $10,000 a month. If you look at the number of people who live in public housing in Hong Kong, it's 50% of the population. So by those 3 measures, you could say that there's definitely a big wealth gap issue in Hong Kong.
Here we are at Central, the busiest financial district in Hong Kong. As you can see, there are many high-end stores as well as banks and businesses located in this area. We all know that this issue is very severe, so we're going to conduct some street interviews and ask if the Hong Kong citizens actually know about the Hong Kong wealth gap.
I think it is mostly due to the politics in Hong Kong is really bad to the poor people. The poor people actually have little welfare and also nothing much to help them to build a career or even just for living.
I run Hands On, which is a charity mobilising and empowering our community to meet pressing social needs in Hong Kong through volunteer services. So, for example, with the elderly, a lot of the elderly people that our volunteers visit are living in really quite basic circumstances and just struggling to get along.
How severe do you think the wealth gap is in Hong Kong?
Well, I know that Hong Kong has the greatest Gini coefficient, which measures income inequality of all the developed cities in the world, so it's quite dramatic here. I think the root cause of all wealth gaps is opportunity, and by that I mean equal opportunity for all people, that there is not one entitled group of individuals who have access to the best education, the best after-school activities, everything from educational but to sport